Hi there, my name is Joe Barnowski and I'm a worship leader in Fort Worth, Texas, and I've developed this little system that I enjoy based on a business decision-making matrix, and I've adapted it to use for how to choose worship songs. And so I just want to walk you through the spreadsheet really fast. Now, for what it's worth, this is entirely arbitrary. You can absolutely take this and tweak it and make your own system out of it based on whatever works best for you and your church. But real fast, let's dive into what the spreadsheet looks like, why I have what I have there, and how to score songs based on it. So here's the spreadsheet, and I have a few examples that I know are going to get some varying scores, and so we're just going to talk through them really fast and give you an example. I base song choices first on whether the songs are theologically sound. We are an LCMS Lutheran congregation, and we have some old codgers, to put it lovingly, who are very picky about the words that we sing in worship, as we should be. And so sometimes there are phrases or words that will cause questions, will cause problems. And so I actually have a note on here. Will this song cause arguments? Basically. The AW scale is something that is mentioned in the Worship Leader Probs podcast, the Worship Probs podcast. And it's really just a scale on a scale of 1 to 5. How much does this song glorify God versus how much does it glorify us? Now, songs that are a 1 on that scale, they're not necessarily bad songs. It's just worth noting that this song is more for the benefit of the body of Christ than it is for God's glory, per se. A really solid example would be God's not dead. He's living on the inside. He's roaring like a lion. Our God's not dead, which is great. It's just not necessarily, it's talking about him, but it's not really talking to him. It is giving him glory, but yeah. So moving on. Is the song catchy and predictable? Is it something that people will nod along with? If you're listening to the verse, if you listen to the chorus, and the words for verse 2 pop up on the screen, can you sing along with it? Would a first-time listener be able to sing along and catch what's happening musically in the song? Because people worship from their hearts, not from the words on the screen. The more they're processing and trying to figure out, the harder it is to worship. And so, is it catchy? Is it predictable? Also, is the song fun to play? Is it fun to sing? A lot of us worship leaders are using multiple services. And so if you're going to be doing this song twice, 3 times, 4 times on a weekend, is your team going to get absolutely sick of it, especially when you're introing the song and you're doing it 2-3 weeks in a row? How is that going to work out for you? And finally, I score, and this is my personal preference. I went to college for English literature, so this matters a lot to me. Is it good songwriting / are the words likable? Are they good? One really good example is the Phil Wickham song, Worthy of My Song. Beautiful, wonderful song. He is worthy, he's worthy, he's worthy of my song. I love it. I love it. There are 3 bridges in the song. And from a songwriting perspective, it's genius. It's beautiful. When this thing happened in the past, you were worthy, even then. When this thing is happening now, you are worthy. When I finally see your face in the future, I'll cry worthy. You're always going to be worthy. So these 3 bridges back to back cover past, present, future. It's so good. But the first bridge is when she laid in that hospital bed, you were worthy. And she could barely lift her head, you were worthy. After all those tears were shed, you were worthy. I'll never stop singing your praise. I'll never stop singing your praise. Really good, beautiful song. We have members of our congregation who have lost their wife in the last year. I'm not going to sing that with our people right here, right now. Maybe not for the next 5 years. So it's good songwriting, but it's not likable for our people. Can I just skip that bridge? Totally. So that's what I'm thinking, right? Now that you have those categories laid out, each category is going to get a multiplier based on what matters the most to you and your congregation. No more than 2 tends to work best, but maybe you'll have fun, maybe triple points for good theology. Whatever you guys decide. But whatever's theologically sound gets doubled. The AW scale and catchiness and predictability both get 1.5 points. And finally, whether a song is fun to play and whether we like the words, those matter. Those still get points, but we're not going to multiply those by anything. So let's hit a few examples. This Is Our God by Phil Wickham. Theologically, pretty sound. This is our God. This is who he is. He loves us. He saves us. My only maybe with it is the bridge, who rescued me from that grave, Yahweh. who gets the glory and praise? Nobody but Jesus. There are some people who, according to the Trinity, why does Jesus get the praise when God the Father is the one? So, only because it's maybe a little bit not questionable, but because people would have questions, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5, right? On the AW scale, it is 100% about God's glory. 5. Is it catchy? Is it predictable? It really is. Maybe at the end of the bridge where he shoots up, nobody but this isn't God. Maybe that would cause people to be like, what do I sing there? Because they're singing something different. Maybe let's give it a 4. I don't know. Is it fun to play? Absolutely. Is it good songwriting? Is it likable? It really is. That's a really good, I like that song. All right. Same God by Maverick City. Calling on the God of Jacob, whose love endures for generations. Pretty cool. Our church, we tend to take issues with songs that tell God to do things. And so that happens a little bit in that song. Let's just give it a 3, okay? You can score it differently. For my church, I'm going to call it a 3. We can argue about it later. AW scale is all about all the attributes of God and how worthy he is. But it does have some of that, like, I need you now to do the same thing for me. Now it's crying out of our needfulness, out of our inability to save ourselves. I'll say 4, okay? Is it catchy? Oh God, my God, I need you. Yeah, it is. Is it fun to play and sing? Yeah, coming out of that bridge, you get those hits. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Is it good songwriting? For the most part. Some of the words are a little muffled. The bridge can go on forever. Let's give it a 3. Why not? It's not terrible. How he loves. Is it theologically sound? I believe it is. Some people, of course, have issues with the famous line. Let's give it a 4. All right. It is all about God's glory. 100%. Is it catchy? Is it predictable? It really is. You know what? Yeah, let's make it a 5. Why not? Is it fun to play? No, not at all. The song is 4 chords over and over, no variation the entire time. Fun to sing. You get the octave jump. You can get that growl in it. We'll give it a 2. Is it good songwriting? The poetry is beautiful. It's wonderful. All right. So here we are. We've got a bunch of different songs. And you know what? I messed up. The AW scale. Okay. For how he loves. He's jealous for me. Loves like a hurricane. Oh, how he loves us. How he loves us. It's about what he's doing, but it's also about what we receive. Maybe let's nix that. Let's call it a 2. Why not? You can judge these songs however you want for your congregation, and they're going to work well. And now you can look at the kinds of scores according to what your congregation needs and determine what works best. I have a bunch of other songs that I have looked at that I think are just absolutely wonderful. I actually just added the songwriting and likability bit pretty recently, and so I haven't done that yet on all of these songs. I need to go back and look at the words and see. I did have a song that I rejected recently on the songwriting portion alone, just right off the bat, because the song goes back and forth a lot between me and he and we. So you can't really mix he, we, and me a whole lot. It's a lot of we will have this benefit of being with Christ forever. He is our God. I will not do this. He is glorious. We will have this thing. It's just very line to line. It jumps around a lot. And because it's so confusing lyrically, I'm not doing the song. Like, it's not even on a scale of 1 to 5. It's a 0. And anything that has an immediate rejectability like that doesn't even get put in. So that's my system. I hope it is useful to you. Have a wonderful day.